social media is their reality.
Yeah, if I'm feeling down, then I'll look on those things and they'll just make it worse.
They have designed their algorithms and their networks exactly to cater to human pathology in its most extreme forms.
I originally set out to make a documentary that explored the possible positive benefits of diminished or controlled social media use. What I actually uncovered was something far, far darker.
You know, I talked earlier about this one-party state where one represents the establishment, one party, and the other one represents the establishment while claiming to oppose the establishment. And the Democratic Party in America is an absolute classic. It's been absolutely hijacked and taken over and absorbed into the system, even on a scale beyond what it was before. And so we have a situation now where Democrats only support system-serving Democrats. And, you know, the party, claimed to be anyway, that gave support to the anti-war movement, actually the hijacked anti-war movement of the 60s called Flower Power, they have gone. The funding of both parties by ultimately the same force has led to them both becoming what that force wants, which is pro-war, invading or physically or in other ways other countries. And we have seen the classic example of that this week when the Democratic representative for Hawaii, Tulsi Gabbard, announced that she was entering the presidential race in 2020. And as this story says, establishment figures on both right and left are scrambling to smear the anti-war congresswoman with impeccable identity politics bona fides. So, as this article is pointing out, she's a classic progressive, except one way. She doesn't support what's been happening in the Middle East, and she doesn't support what has been done to Syria by the American military. And for that, no matter all the other progressive bona fides, as this describes, she has been immediately subject to widespread abuse, not least from her own party. She's been called an Assad apologist because she actually met him once. Oh, you don't meet tyrants? Well, of course you meet tyrants. You want to see what they're about. You also want to see if what's said about them by the completely controlled media is true. If I had the opportunity to meet Assad, I'd meet him. If I had the opportunity to meet the mullahs of Iran, I'd meet him. If I had the opportunity to meet the guy running North Korea, I would. I want to see what these people are. For myself, not from someone else's headline. But no, you don't meet these people, or you, by definition, are a supporter of these people, which again takes us back to the land of immaturity and childlike behavior. The story here says, Gabbard certainly poses a thorny problem for the neocon, neoliberal axis, which is a good way of describing it. It's what it is. It's got it in this country, like I say, as well, in Britain. As she checks all the identity politics boxes, the first Hindu member of Congress, a woman, a veteran, and she has undeniable populist appeal given her anti-establishment record. But while Gabbard is a Democrat, she was emphatically not a Clinton supporter. resigning as vice chair of the Democratic National Committee in February 2016 to endorse Bernie Sanders in the primary, who then turned out to be next to useless when it was exposed that the Democratic National Committee was stitching him up on behalf of Clinton, and then goes and supports Clinton at the candidate nomination at the Democratic National Convention. It was quite pathetic to watch, and I've noticed. Say I've had my eye on. I've noticed Tulsi Gabbard over the years in interviews here and interviews there, not least about the happenings in the Middle East. And I don't know about her other policies. I'm going to make sure I do know these next few days. But what she has said about the effect in the Middle East of American foreign policy, I say American foreign policy, Israel's foreign policy, has been absolutely spot on. And it's taken a lot of guts to come out and say it in the environment where, if you're against war, you are an apologist for tyrants. It surprised me not at all that when she came in with this announcement, I'm going to run for president, that all the abuse started, because they don't want people like that in power. And my son Gareth sent me a screenshot this week too from a pro-Israel lobby person who made a tweet saying that that basically the pro-Israel lobby was focusing its attention to stop Tulsi Gabbard because she don't want war, you see, and the Israel